and we'll keep on going.
Okay.
It should be popping up here soon. How's your week been? I feel like I haven't talked to you in forever.
I know, it's been a while. Good, dude. Just got that deal into escrow.
Is that the one with John?
No. That's the one with John. We're trying to buy it right now still. That's the one that I got back in like early June, and we're selling it right now. So at the price that we're in escrow with, we should be at like a $59,000 profit. So splitting that 50-50 with the guy.
That's so dope, though. It's free.
Yeah, exactly. Stoked. How was Utah?
Utah was fun. I feel like I've been drunk for a month, but it's been really fun. Like when I say I've been drunk for a month, like because we started off, it was cool. Then I went to Alaska.
Right.
I went to Utah and then to Alaska. As soon as I got to Utah, we all started drinking. And then that lasted all the way throughout Alaska. And I just like, only time I really slept was on the planes. And then when I came home, it was Zeno's birthday party and we had a bunch of people coming to town. So we started drinking again. And then I come back and then I go out to Utah again. And then it's just a party for the wedding all week.
Just went crazy, huh?
So I weighed 220 pounds.
Where were you going into it?
Who am I doing what?
No, how much were you going into all the...
Bro, I weighed like 215 to 210. I've never weighed 220 pounds in my life. Like me weighing 220, if I could have weighed this in college, that would have been dope. It would have been so dope.
With muscle?
With muscle, right? Instead of having man boobs and a fat gut. It is what it is.
Well,
I'm going into a couple more groups.
Cool.
Yeah, what have you been up to, man?
Dude, just getting all these Airbnbs set. We're up to now 7 new ones that we're adding in September. So we'll be at
dope.
Yeah, we'll be at 20. It's either 21 or 22 overall. It's crazy. But yeah, it was our best month in Airbnb. We grossed over 42,000 and I netted 14.7 of that.
And how many are all 7 of those? Those are all just new management clients, right?
Yep, just management. Yeah, so all the last 10 that I've added have all been management.
That's still so nice though, because you don't have to do all that other bullshit.
It's amazing. I mean, my worst management property this last month made me $673. So like to add something where you're no money into the deal and cash flowing over $600 a month, like hell yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's insane.
One of the management ones that I did made me $1,100. And so like that's, if I own one or arbitrage one, I'm right around like 900 to 1,100. So to do that in a management one is pretty awesome.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So hey guys, tell us where you're from as you're coming in. Let us know where you're watching from. We're gonna go over our 2 creative finance deals that we just wrapped up. Our last one just finished up. What was it? 2 weeks ago? Last week?
Yep, 2 weeks. 10 days.
It was last week, right? Because they messed up the freaking escrow.
Yeah, I think we closed on Wednesday of last week officially, but recorded.
Yeah. So we'll go over that. So I'll go over how we found them, and then we tried 2 different exit strategies. I think the only pro to the wrap was that we got a little bit more money up front.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think it was such a pain in the ass, and it was probably the title company and everything else. But it really wasn't worth it. Let's talk about that one in the more first.
Yeah.
We got that one from Matt. Matt's acquisitions guy, Chase, just hit me up like, hey, can I do a sub-2 on a VA loan? And Pace told me yes. I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then, I just messaged you like, hey, do you want a house in Lemoore? I don't have anybody else who I can partner with.
Yeah, no, I love it because whenever you text me, do you want a house in Lemoore? What's my response always?
Well, are we gonna make some money?
Yeah, does the numbers work? I don't care if it's in Antarctica. Are we gonna make some money?
And so we bought that one, and then that one took a little while longer because no one knew how to do it. Rochelle had to search all over for a title company who would handle it. We finally found a title company who would handle it, and then it was still just a long, drawn-out process of getting that thing done. I think we're in escrow for like 2 months, right?
Gosh, I think escrow. So we started escrow middle of July because I remember Rochelle was talking about our goal is to close before August 1st, and then we officially closed. Yeah, it was like August 27, something like that. So what is that? 6 weeks, basically. Yeah.
It took way longer than I thought.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially because the buyer was freaking me out. I mean, I know you weren't really talking to the buyer much, but like that was my buyer that I got from Facebook Marketplace. And so I was just trying to develop a relationship with her, and she didn't speak English very well. So the only way we could really communicate was through text, and she was using WhatsApp, or not WhatsApp, Google Translate to like translate everything and make sure she understood. And so it was like every day for 6 weeks, she's just like, because all of her friends are being naysayers, like, oh, you're getting screwed, and like this is a scam and all this kind of stuff. And every time I have to tell her, like, hey, would I have like a podcast and YouTube channel, me talking about like real estate all day long if I was scamming people? Like, that's not what I do. So, I just had to keep on like coddling her and petting her, and it just, so that 6 weeks, dude, felt like 6 years.
No, so when we bought it, it took 6 weeks, and then selling it took another like month to 6 weeks, right?
Well, selling it, let's see, and that was another pain in the butt. I know that you were getting mostly calls, but when I put stuff on like Facebook Marketplace, you get all the haters and stuff. And so this one, I think the issue we had with this one was that we didn't rehab it. The one in Bakersfield, I'm sure we're going to talk about, we rehabbed it. So it was super nice. But this one, it was livable, but everything was outdated, and people didn't understand that like us selling it at 220 was close to a $40,000 discount, because people just don't know how to evaluate real estate. So they were like $220,000 for that piece of crap. And literally, if you just put new floors and paint in, it would look like almost a brand new house. So like that whole process was difficult. I think if I go to my inbox for Facebook Marketplace, I probably have close to 300 different conversations with people that were interested. And I think from all those 300, only like 2 or 3 people actually showed up to the house. And then we got the one offer from this buyer. And obviously, because we didn't have a ton of offers, we were lenient with her and got a little bit less cash flow, but we got that down payment of $25K, which I was stoked about.
Yeah. If we could go back, do you think we should have just rehabbed it?
Yes and no, because our cash flow on that without the rehab and without having to raise the money for the rehab is still like kind of almost bottom floor of what we wanted. Yeah. So I guess in being inexperienced at this point between you and I, the question would probably be like, would rehabbing it actually get us a higher cash flow amount, or would it have just increase the marketability? So like, I'll wait. I don't want to go through something like that again, but I'll wait 6 weeks to make a sale rather than for 7 years cash flow, $200 less every single month, So I'm fine with being patient with the process, but that was a process. So I guess short answer would be, we should definitely like do kind of like a wholesale type of approach where it's not a full rehab, but maybe just like, new carpets and new paint, stuff like that.
Especially for that house though.
Yeah. Yeah. That one, especially, and the picture, and I think you mentioned it too, like professional pictures probably would have been a better call for that one. Brighten it up a little bit, because it just looked like, the outside was pink, like
there's Jesus on the front.
Yeah.
Jesus on top of the garage.
Yeah, literally. No, it was a learning experience. So I'm glad we did it, but I think you and I are on the same page. Never do that again.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever really want to do wraps. Rochelle told us like, oh no, you guys got to do wraps. It's a great exit. But for me, the double escrow was such a pain.
Yeah.
Right. So just the second escrow and getting everything else done to where compared with our lease option it was just over with. You know, like it was like, okay, yeah, give us the money, cool. On to the next. We don't have to deal with that wench of a woman who was handling our escrow. She was just awful to us. It made things so much harder.
You were talking to her more, so I know that you weren't very happy with her.
Man, I just one day when we were doing our FHA wrap,
Yeah,
and she like I call her to talk to her, and she just starts bitching me out. I was like, whoa, no.
What was she saying?
Say like just all this stuff and like all these issues she's having, and like I don't have this, and that. And I was like, well, yeah, I mean, we're getting it to you, and the bank told us they don't have it. So why are you pressing me?
Yeah.
And then she just kept on going. I was like, all right, whatever. Rochelle, find someone. Can you find someone else? Like, I don't want to do business with this lady. I've never done that in my life.
Yeah.
Saying like I do not want to do business with someone.
You're talking about the escrow company that we did end up using that just closed with us.
Yeah. But then we switched to a different one, and she's been awesome so far.
Okay, good. Yeah, I like to hear that.
And so the way we handled this one, this is our house in Lemoore. We did owner finance. Mm-hmm. And so we have an underlying mortgage that we wrapped. And can you describe a wrap better? Kalani gets mad at me because I can't describe it good.
Basically, you just take the existing interest rate and you wrap it with a higher interest rate. So what did that one? It was like at a 4 something, and we wrapped it with somewhere around like an 8%. So we're earning the difference between the 8% to 4%, which is about, what was it, $350, $400 of cash flow a month?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we got 25 grand up front off of that as a down payment. The only way I think we could have increased that down payment and the cash flow, I think just better pictures
and rehab.
And then we would have, painted the walls probably.
Yeah.
Paint and carpet. I don't know how much more we'd have to raise for that, like $3 to $5 grand.
Painting would have been probably about $3,000, and carpet in the bedrooms. We also had the living room, maybe at $1,500. So, under $5,000. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think the toughest thing now that like we've done it is knowing wearing out like the marketing for it. So you had the sign in the front of the yard, which we'll do on all of ours, which I think is great. The issue that I think I had was we had so many people, so many haters on Facebook Marketplace that I'm like, man, if I sell another house in Lemoore at Facebook Marketplace, are they going to like see who I am and like say, oh, that was that guy that posted that one, and oh, he's a scammer, yada yada yada. And obviously we're not scamming, but people get these preconceived notions. So maybe I just got to change like my profile picture on Facebook next time I post one in Lemoore.
I don't know. I don't think so, because the first deal we analyzed that we almost bought in Fresno by our office, I got pictures and I posted that too, and everyone else, it's a scam. Yeah. It's a scam. It's a scam. Like, oh my God. So I don't think it's just you alone. I think it's a bunch of Karens on Facebook with nothing else better to do.
Yeah.
And that's what they do.
Someone literally said I was going to take their kidney. Yeah. They said, don't show up to that house. You'll probably wake up in a bathtub missing a kidney.
Right. And I mean, that's just people. I think another thing we would do to make it better, I learned this on a Joe McCall course that I have. We'd have a website with pictures as well. Now, like a website, and I already have a bunch of carrot websites that we can use.
Yeah.
Set it up like, hey, here's the address. Here's all the requirements.
Yeah.
Please submit your application here, and just have a link.
Yeah.
They can download it, submit a link, and then go from there. And we just look at applications. We got a full-on video, pictures, and kind of streamline it that way.
A little more professional too.
Yeah, a little bit more professional. But I mean, 300 messages with people is a pain in the ass.
It's a lot. It was a ton. It was seriously a ton. And especially because like when we would have open houses, I wanted people to know we're having an open house. So what did I do? I copied and pasted a message in 300 different messages 2 or 3 times. So that was, no, I like the fact that folks think anything that they don't understand. Exactly, man. That one. People are scared of what they don't understand, right? The thing that I want to keep doing though, like I'm stoked about lease option, and that Bakersfield property was it was flawless. And I know we've got another one coming up here in Fresno that we're going to lease option. I just think those are because of paperwork, because of the process, and also because we're trying to give them, an actual like renovated house, I just think it's going to be a lot easier.
Yeah. I don't think Bakersfield will ever happen again. I don't see us ever getting a $20,000 option fee.
That was pretty good. Yeah.
Ever again from someone. So we're talking about the other house we just bought in Bakersfield. And I wanted to go over the pros and cons of like the lease option compared to the owner finance. Mm-hmm. Another thing that was a pain in the ass with the owner finance was the closing costs.
Right.
And that came out of our pocket. That kind of dug in a little bit.
Yeah.
But with the lease option, we sold it with a sign in the front yard that I had to stack on the fence saying for sale by owner with my cell phone number. Yeah. And then we got so many calls from people. I don't know if you posted it on Facebook at all. You did, but it wasn't like a ton of traction.
I think I posted, and then you literally like a day later said, "Hey, I think we have a buyer," and so I just took it off of Facebook while you were working it out.
Exactly. It was so easy. We got it sold to the guy. He was just, "What's going on, JB?" We got it sold to the guy. He wanted, I think at the beginning he said he wanted to do 25K down. I was like, okay. And then he came back and I was like, you know what? I only want to do 20K. We just had a car breakdown, blah, blah, blah. I was like, whatever. Because we had a bunch of other people still calling us. Yeah. And I was like, well, we have 20K down. Can you match it? And everybody was like, no. Okay, sweet. We get that one 20K down and the first month's rent. And that one's fully rehabbed compared to the other one where it wasn't rehabbed at all. And the other one was a owner finance. This one's straight lease option. We didn't have to do anything through title or anything else. We just went down there, signed a bunch of paperwork, collected the check, and said, awesome, go about your day.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I will say the one thing that we did right is we kept that money ourselves, and we used the owner finance deal in Lemoore to pay off expenses with our lenders. Because, and the reason, so people can understand, like, the owner finance deal, that person is actually on title. They actually own that property. So if they start to default, then that goes in, like, we basically put them into a foreclosure process, versus if the lease option guy stops paying, we have to put them through an eviction process, which is a pain, annoying, and really we're eating all of the costs on that. So the fact that, like, this guy paid us, I think he was going to do 20 and then he could only come up with 17, but we have somewhere between $17,000 and $20,000 of his money in our pocket. So if he stops paying us, and let's call the eviction process 5 months, but we still have $17,000. And then we just use that for the 5 months of eviction process, which for this mortgage is only $40 or $450 a month. So like we're coming out way on top, versus what we did with the Lemoore one. Took that $25,000 and took the majority of that, paid off our lender for that one, so that we only have a first mortgage, not a second mortgage on that property, and we're just cash flowing more. So I think we did the right thing on that.
Yeah, and what else was I going to say? We chose to do a owner finance because for some reason, the state of California, we took title, but we didn't take title, and they told us like we wouldn't get the tax benefits. And so I said, whatever, let's just do a wrap and get more money up front.
Yeah. Wasn't it because it was a VA loan?
Yeah, it was because it was a VA loan, and they were like, well, you won't get the tax. You won't actually be on title, even though we were. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, so then if we're not going to get the tax benefits of owning the house, we might as well just wrap it.
Yeah.
And get the bigger down payment.
Yep. Exactly.
But that still wasn't worth it to me. Do you guys rehab all of your lease options? It just depends. I mean, we've only really done 3. This next one, I don't think we'll touch a damn thing.
Yeah.
It is brand new. The one in Lemoore, we didn't touch it. We actually went down there because one of the cleaners couldn't show up on the day when we needed her to. So me and Kyle and Zeno went down there and scrubbed everything. And then the one in Bakersfield, it was a complete gut, and we rehabbed everything.
Yeah. The advice that I got, I know it was different than what Pace had told you, is basically as long as it's livable, then you can lease option or owner finance it. But what we were talking about earlier, his name was Chris, right? I don't see the yeah. So what we were talking about earlier, Chris, is probably like if we were to go back and redo the Lemoore one because the pictures just don't look good, we would redo the paint, carpets, and just get professional pictures, and that would be under $5,000. That would so kind of taking like a wholesale approach versus a full rehab.
Exactly, and only 30% of people execute on the option. And that is really nice to where with this owner finance, I will be surprised if they don't get a different loan on it.
Yeah.
And then, but one thing I do like that we did is we put in a prepayment penalty of like $50,000.
Yeah. I think it was just 25,000.
25?
Yeah.
A prepayment penalty of $25,000 over
7 years.
The next 7 years, if they pay it off. Then we get, I think, what is it? That'll be like 60 grand or something.
Yeah. Yeah. So
that'll be nice.
Yeah, it's and it works out for them. They know about the prepayment penalty, so they understand that they can't refinance the first 7 years unless they want to pay that big payoff. But I think it helps them in the long run too, because even if they do that, they're going to save a lot of money by refinancing with a different loan. So either way, whether they wait 1 year, 7 years, or 30 years, it's going to be a good deal for both sides.
Yeah. And this is, I like these because I don't have to worry about CapEx or anything like other rental properties. I like how it's a rental and okay, we have our downside if they execute, but I'm willing to risk the 30% of them executing and not have to worry about any other bullshit.
Yeah. Well, they are basically taking ownership. That's why we like this versus a long-term rental, because if the AC goes out, I mean, that's their thing to fix. Exactly. It's not us. We don't have to worry about that. We literally don't have any expenses now that they have taken over everything. Now, is that for every lease option, or is that just basically what you agreed to with this guy?
We'll structure it that same way with everybody, right?
Yeah.
To where like some people want to have like a threshold of like anything above X will help you out with, but I was like, hey, everything's on you. Here it is in paperwork. Any maintenance that has to be done is all on you. Like you pretty much own the house now. We expect you to exercise your option agreement within the next 7 years.
Perfect.
And obviously the only thing that really matters for him is just getting his credit right.
Yep. And that, I think that's the important part for people to know is these people are needing to do deals like this because usually their credit is not right.
Exactly. And then let's go over this new one we just got with Michael Butler sent it to us.
Yep.
So this one, my good friend Michael Butler sent it to us. He was like, hey, you want this house? I was like, oh yeah, maybe. The odds of this are though, which are crazy. I sold Kyle one of my first big wholesale deals, 5 houses down for 30 grand, and I made 30 grand on it, and Kyle flipped it and made another like 20 to 30.
Yeah, it was 28, I want to say.
Right. And then you did that. And then this house is just 5 houses down the street.
Yeah. From
that one we did. And now this one, there's nothing wrong with it at all. I almost slipped down the stairs. That's something completely different. They've owned it for a year. The guy just needs to move out and get to a different place. And I think how much will we be into it for? Did we say 10 grand?
Yeah, it was 10 or 12, I think at the most.
Like 10 or 12 grand. And then we'll just pay ourselves off with that, with the option, and just cash flow a little bit better, I think, depending on what we can get for rent, if we're comfortable with it.
Yeah. Well, and I think you and I talked about this one. It might not be the cash flow that we want in terms of, I think our bottom line was like 400 per month. This one might be 300, 350, which is right there on the bubble. But the reason we both like it, it's in Fresno. Fresno I think things are going to go faster in Fresno than will in Lemoore or Bakersfield, like we've already experienced. And B, it's a low entry with just the 10 grand. And I just think it's going to be a nice, easy, knock on wood, just slip our way into some more passive income and have a nice little payoff too.
Yeah, I think that'll be awesome. And then let's talk to him about how you're going to use your, life insurance, whole life?
Yeah.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how we're going to structure it with that too.
Yeah. So I'll direct people to the full thing on this. If you go to my website, fearlesskyle.com, and then go to the YouTube or the podcast, just search for my episodes with Chris Miles on infinite banking. Chris is the one that introduced me to this. He is just a genius. He's the anti-Dave Ramsey. So if you want to do safe things, which you're probably not watching right now with Stratton and I, if you're following Dave Ramsey, because we're risky and he's not. But if you're looking to maximize the money that you have, basically, and I'm not the expert on this, so that's why I defer back to this video, but essentially what we're doing is I've got a whole life insurance policy that, has its life benefits and its death benefits. So your term life insurance only has death benefits. Your universal has a little bit of combination of both, but I like whole life insurance because here's what happens. I put, for example, if I had $100,000 in a life insurance policy for a whole life insurance, if I take out $50,000 and I put it towards a rehab, and then I get paid back, $50,000 plus whatever I make, I can put it right back into the life insurance policy, call it 5 months later. Well, that life insurance policy, while I borrowed that $50,000, is still paying me interest on the full $100,000. So even though I took the money out, I still am getting paid on the full amount that was in there originally. So on this one, I'm taking out basically $10,000. I'm putting it towards this. And then maybe 3 months later, we have the full payoff and I'm putting it right back in there. But during the entirety of that, it's the 10,000 plus what was originally in there that I'm getting paid the interest on. I'm not getting paid on the interest minus the $10,000. So I probably didn't even do a good job of explaining that, but it's really just, to me, so Infinite Banking is the name of it. Google Chris Miles Infinite Banking or go check out our videos and you'll learn a lot about that.
Yeah, I think it's so cool. I just started one. How much above are you guys structuring monthly payments or rental rates? Whatever we feel is comfortable.
Yeah.
I have no mathematics behind it whatsoever. If this market rent's like 1,200, okay, bro, let's try and get like 14 to 15.
Yeah.
And it really is based off my cash flow as well. Like
Yeah.
if I want to meet my cash flow numbers, then I'll try and just push whatever we can get.
Well, and what I'm starting to realize too is that, we use Rent-A-Meter. I don't know if there's a better way to do it out there, but Rent-A-Meter seems like, especially with the way that real estate in Fresno has gone over the last year, seems a little bit outdated on the numbers. Like I've got a rental over off of Valentine and McKinley that I know for sure would get at least $1,600, $1,700 a month if I were to rent it out long term. And I looked on Rent-A-Meter and it said between like $1,350 to $1,400. I'm like, that's a pretty big difference there for cash flow. So to me, like it's just the approach of, all right, we know like bottom line what we want. And so let's start $100 above that or $200 above that and know that we have $100 to $200 of negotiating power to get down to our bottom line.
Exactly. What else? Propstream has their own like rent estimator. I think Cody was saying that they started to use that, but I haven't really dug that deep into it. Rental meter. And then the way we sell them, I go straight off of Pace's model where it's like 7 years in the future. I appreciate it by 5% every year.
There you go.
And then that's what we sell it at.
Yep. So this Bakersfield one, I think we got it. We thought it was worth 130, and so we sold it to him essentially with the idea of 160 as the sales price, right?
Yeah. We sold it to him at 160.
Okay.
And he gave us 20 grand. We put 10 grand towards the overall purchase price.
Yep.
And then 10 grand just went to our pockets.
Yep.
All right, guys. Any more questions? Thank you so much, Kyle, man.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, man. 3 down, a lot more to go.
A lot more to go.
Yeah.
And when I was in Utah, I had a bunch of people reach out to me, like telling me, like, well, yeah, I wanted to get into real estate like you. If you guys do want to get into real estate, send me or Kyle a message. I'd love to help you guys. There's so many different ways you can enter. And like, we got into this for no money out of our own pockets.
Yeah.
So 45 grand in profit, well, in revenue, and none of it, like we didn't pay for the houses. The houses came for free. The houses came from my call center that's already paid for by itself. It was pretty cool how we don't have really any money into these things.
It's an amazing thing. But I would just say the biggest thing is don't be interested, be committed. Make sure that you know for sure you want to get into it, because I've just noticed the people that do this casually will either quit or they'll lose a lot of money. So be serious about it, be committed, and reach out to Stratton.
Awesome. And if you guys need cold callers, reach out to me as well, or go to callmagicians.com. We'd love to help you guys out. Thanks so much.